When starting your charcoal piece, it's a good idea to start with Vine charcoal. Vine charcoal is extremely soft charcoal. So I like to cover my entire base with my medium value. So this could be like a light gray. Don't worry if you see some lines because we can fix that later on. Charcoal is a very messy medium. So there's some of my Vine charcoal. I can even use the bigger stick if I'd like. Now you have two options. You can smooth this out with your hand, or if you don't want to look like my hands, you can go ahead with some paper towel. This will also prevent any oils from your fingers from getting on your piece. So here's my soft gray base. I'm going to start drawing my apple here with my Vine charcoal. So I'm paying attention to the shadows, to the highlights, any of the details I want to make sure to emphasize. And don't worry, if I mess up, let's say I went across there, I don't like that line, I can blend it right back into the background. It is no big deal. I can outline my highlights, outline where my shadows are. Notice I'm not being exact. It's okay if it's a little off. I can also start drawing my cast shadow out. Alright, so I've kind of outlined everything in here. Your Vine charcoal is best for the background and for start drawing your pieces. Now, I can either use my charcoal stick to put in some of my darker values, and I can also use my charcoal pencils. Charcoal pencils, as well as charcoal sticks, come in a variety of softness. So if something is a medium or hard, it's going to be much lighter, such as these pencils. Something is a soft, it's a little darker. If it's extra soft, it's the very darkest charcoal that we have. I'm going to start out with, I'm going to pick my medium one. If I need to sharpen this, going over the trash can or on a piece of paper towel, I can softly sharpen my piece. I can go back on here. Pencils are great for adding smaller details. So you generally start shading in and layering up that value. Notice I'm not up like this. I have it a little bit spaced out. So once you have that, I'm going to show you one I completed earlier. So I have this in all as adding in my values. You can also take some away for those highlights. I take a piece of my kneaded eraser, shape it so I'm comfortable with it, and start adding in some of my highlights. Paying attention to looking at my apple and seeing where those highlights are. Maybe even lightening up that background piece, maybe around the shadow. And this is a start to going back in with charcoal. I could also go back in with maybe my charcoal, my Vine, or one of the pencils. So it's pushing and pulling. It's pulling out some of those lighter values and pushing down some of those darker values.